Thank you so much for taking the time to join us today. As I mentioned, my name is Jenny Cull, and I'm the Manager of Strategic Partnerships for HelpSeeker. So my role is raising awareness about our work, and I'm constantly on the lookout for partnership opportunities with different partners who share our vision and our mission. Joining me in presenting today are my colleagues, our VP of Marketing, Valerie Sergienko, and our VP of Systems Mapping, Nicole Croft, as well as our Systems Mapping Specialist and Help Desk Lead, Danny Gillard. We'll be using the next little while here to discuss the challenges organizations face in today's pandemic and how you can increase your organization's exposure in your community for free. There will be a Q&A session at the end of the webinar, so please feel free to pop in any of your questions in the chat box, and we'll be sure to address them at that time. Let's get started. I would like to begin with a land acknowledgement. Canada has a long history of colonialism, and as we look forward to creating a better future, we can't do that without acknowledging systemic harm. Land acknowledgements are also a way for us to recognize the strengths of the people of this land in our multiculturalism and in our own cultures, and our connection to one another. We are joining you today from Calgary, and while our land acknowledgement encompasses our region, we encourage you to reflect on the land that you are on today, as well as the First Peoples that live there and your shared histories. In the spirit of reconciliation, I would like to acknowledge that we live on the traditional territories of the Blackfoot Confederacy, the Siksika, the Kainai and Piikani, the Tsuut'ina, the Îyârhe Nakoda Nations, the Métis Nation Region 3, and all people who make their homes in the Treaty 7 region of Southern Alberta. HelpSeeker is a B Corporation that's been around since 2017. We are active in more than 200 communities across Canada, and we have a mission to resolve complex social challenges through social and technological innovations. So as mentioned, we have built two free apps, our HelpSeeker navigation app, which is accessible from any desktop or any smartphone, Apple or Android device, as well as our Wellbeing Screener, which is available for download on any smartphone, Apple or Android device. HelpSeeker has done the initial work of listing and mapping out all services available in communities across Canada so that people in need can find the help that organizations such as your own offer when they need it. Each week, thousands of people across the country are using these apps for free. I will now turn it over to our VP of Marketing, Valerie Sergienko.
So HelpSeeker, so first of all, of course, I'm Valerie Sergienko. I'm VP of Marketing here at HelpSeeker. My role is all about ensuring that we market the solutions that we've built to those that could benefit from them, and that includes service providers, navigators, you name it. So to do this, we built two apps. So the HelpSeeker Navigation app is a database of over 178, close to 180,000 services, programs, helplines, benefits that are available across Canada. So our navigation, mobile and desktop apps, they're available in 23 languages and are packed with tools and features that make finding and sharing the right services and programs super easy. It's already being used by thousands of individuals living in Canada who are in need of that support, or those frontline workers who are helping people in need to find services that they need. Our Wellbeing Screener is another really cool app. It is an assessment tool that helps users identify the areas in their life that could use some improvement. And then it pairs them, so it pairs the person using the app with the most appropriate services, benefits, programs, or helplines within their area or within their geographical location to begin that journey towards a better, happier version of themselves. Now, if you're not currently familiar with our apps, I highly encourage you to go ahead and download them. So you'll likely actually find that the service that you provide may already be on our apps. So why would what's currently holding you back as a service provider? We've worked with many service providers and we've heard some interesting feedback. So some of the issues that we hear coming from service providers, first of all, you wish your services and your programs were accessible and discoverable by anyone who's eligible. You also may want the end users to pre-qualify themselves before they actually reach out to you. And that will, of course, save you time and resources on triaging them beforehand. Your programs are updating frequently, especially nowadays due to COVID, and you're simply having a hard time keeping up with communicating these changes and updates on all of your multiple channels. You're worried that not everyone that could benefit from your service is actually familiar with it or with your program. You are simply wasting resources on advertisement and communications without a clear ROI. We are all kind of guilty of that, but we're hoping to change that. So you're unsure whether your programs are actually being utilized to their full potential. You have the capacity to introduce new programs, but you're not sure whether people within your community will actually benefit from them, whether they're looking for that kind of service. You have limited to no resources allocated to advertisement or marketing. That's always an issue, limited resources. And then, of course, the administrative task of ensuring that all of your service programs are updated and advertised across multiple channels, including websites, blogs, social media, bulletin boards, newsletters. It's a lot of work. It's really straining us, costly, and just simply ineffective sometimes. So we absolutely hear you, and we've created our apps with all of those concerns in mind, hoping that we actually help you resolve those issues. So let's talk about what would one want to be as a service provider on our HelpSeeker app, so on our systems map. So first of all, you can manage and update all of your services, programs, and offerings all in one place using our dashboard. It's really easy to use it. You log in once and you can update all of your information in a really swift move. So single login, updating your programs, making sure that all that information on your listings is accurate, takes less time than updating your Facebook profile. So really efficient. You can now add unlimited listings under one account. So let's say you have multiple programs addressing multiple needs or multiple groups of people. You can now have unlimited listings to list each one of those programs separately. So you can list as many programs as you will like. What you can also do is you can now archive them, which means if you have a seasonal program or that's simply not available at the time, you can archive it and then retrieve it at a later date. Now, free marketing, and of course, me coming from a marketer, is an undeniable bonus. So, our apps are being used by thousands of individuals living in Canada, and we work tirelessly day and night to ensure that HelpSeeker is a household name. So, and that it's really a first stop for anyone who's looking for help. We have preferential display in our search results and community pages for those services and programs that are claimed and managed by you, the service providers. So, of course, you want to be at the top of that search list. You want your service to be the first one that people who are looking for help find, of course, if they're eligible for it or if it's applicable to them. But why do we put the listings that are claimed at the very top of our list? Well, it's because user experience is of our utmost importance to us. So what we do is putting the claimed listings, assuming that they have the most up-to-date information at the top, ensures that our users can actually get the most accurate, up-to-date information very quickly. So what are some other benefits? Like I mentioned, we work tirelessly to ensure that HelpSeeker is a household name, that everyone can, living in Canada, can easily and quickly access these help resources using our apps. So all of our marketing efforts that we do regardless of any other factors, they of course benefit you as the service provider. So so what are these benefits to you? What are these marketing benefits? Well, first of all, listings that have been claimed by service providers, as I mentioned, they show up at the top of the search results in our apps. We have also created these highly search engine optimized city service directory pages. Many of these pages, they rank on the first pages of Google, similar to other directories, which I'm sure some of you are familiar with, like Clutch, Yelp, or Glassdoor, and others. So we feature those claim listings on the directory pages, which is really quite cool. We regularly feature service providers and programs on our social media. So if you have a story to share, we'll reach out to you and we will reshare that story on our social media and on our channels to our audiences. We also find influential partners on social media and influential accounts, and we partner with them to make sure that they spread the good word of about our service providers or about HelpSeeker in general within various communities in Canada. Now, lastly, we offer a suite of tools, guides, and marketing materials to help you spread the word of HelpSeeker in your community. And these include printable posters, business cards, flyers, messaging guides, custom email signatures, newsletter templates, customizable social media posts, and so much more. Now I'd love to hand it over to Nicole, and I really hope that my unstable internet connection actually allowed you all to hear what I was saying. I'm gonna hand it over to Nicole, our VP of Systems Mapping. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Valerie. I'm Nicole Croft, and part of my role at HelpSeeker is coordinating the activity around systems mapping. So from research and data entry to quality assurance and making sure those listings get regular updates, and working with communities to ensure that their systems map is representative of their community and the needs. So a little bit about my role here. So joining here today, Jenny is going to help me out with a demonstration, and we're going to kind of walk through some of the tools on how to update those programs. Excellent. So we'll be looking at, sorry, I'm also, my internet's kind of flicking back and forth and my notes are kind of disappearing here. So just want to start out by saying, you know, we are really proud and excited to be partnering with CMHC to expand services across Canada. And we're going to take a closer look at what that looks like now. So we have systems mapping as far west as Vancouver Island, including Victoria, Nanaimo, on the mainland in Metro Vancouver, Abbotsford, Kelowna, as well as a lot more. We are active in many communities across Alberta, all major cities and some rural mapping in Saskatchewan, all cities and large population areas across Manitoba with special involvement in Winnipeg and Brandon. And we are currently working in Ontario and the GTA region with plans of continuing to expand east throughout 2021, 2022. We have over 6,700 listings that have been claimed and are currently being managed by service providers themselves. We do have several areas across the eastern provinces, so in PEI and Nova Scotia, that have services mapped. And if you're interested in if HelpSeeker is in your area, I encourage you to check out our website or our app. If you are a service provider, you can also add yourself at any time from the main website. So you don't have to necessarily wait for us to get to your area. You can always add yourself at any time to a map. We have over 199,000 services on our site right now. So, and thousands of interactions are captured monthly. We currently have approximately, so that same 6,700 claim listings across Canada. And of course, as we move throughout Canada, our goal is always going to be 100%. So if you, again, are a service provider, we encourage you to claim and manage your listings. And part of the reason for this presentation is just to highlight how you can do that. Thank you. Next slide, please. On our app, you will find two types of listings, those that have been claimed and those that haven't. The unclaimed listings were added by HelpSeeker's own systems mapping team and are revisited on a regular basis to ensure the information is up to date and accurate. Claim listings are those that are owned and managed by you, the service providers. So here we have two examples of those HelpSeeker listings. So on the left-hand side, this is a view from our website and how end users and service providers can easily and anonymously find information about programs and services. So to use this free tool, there is no need to sign up, log in. There are no passwords to remember, and you can connect directly from the website to any of the contact information, so email, website, address. You can also add and view any listing images that might appear. You can read a short and helpful description about the service or program. Other information that can be included is eligibility criteria, capacity information, whether or not the service or building is wheelchair accessible, and the hours of operation. You can also report an issue about the listing right from the listing itself. and leave a star review or written feedback. On the right-hand side, here is what happens after your listing is up and what your clients can see when you share your link with them. So to make your service listing more discoverable, we have created listing specific pages. And the image on the right is an example of one of these pages. So that one in the computer there, and which is optimized for SEO, so search engine optimization. SEO, for those that are not familiar, is to create an index content to increase the likelihood that your listing will appear on or close to the top of those search results. So Val did talk about that a couple minutes ago as well. Another great value for service providers is free advertisement on a platform that is viewed by frontline workers who could really benefit from knowing what services are available. Each individual web link can be shared or included on other partner websites. And the real value here is, of course, just having your listing available to the right audience at the right time. And we're pretty happy to say we help you do that. So the burning question, how do I sign up for a free account? So Danny's here from Help Desk. If you can pop in our Join Us link in the chat box for anybody that's interested. So there's from our main website, so that www.helpseeker.org at the top of the screen there. You can click on the top right-hand corner and click on that Join Us button. And then on the right-hand side, you'll see the form that pops up. You fill out all those mandatory fields there, and then you will receive your email log information in the email you provide. If you are wanting additional listings, or if you know your listings are already mapped, you can also specify which programs you would like to include, and it'll help us just make sure you're assigned those correct listings in your account. When you log in for the first time, you will then see all or at least a few of your organization's information already entered. And this is what we're going to look at a closer look at from the back end. And some of the information we collect. Thank you. Here is an example of that information you can access when you log in. You'll notice a listing name, and underneath are what we call tags. This is one of the way clients and frontline workers search for your services. We have over 80 ways to tag your services for a good program client match. Tags include needs and service elements, population focus, and costs. Some additional information that can be included in addition to that contact information, like I mentioned, is hours, eligibility, capacity information, wheelchair accessibility, a description or a COVID update. We also have fields for other optional information that is not displayed to the public. And this would include how you classify your organization. And some examples of that would be whether or not it is a profit, charity, volunteer organization, or public or private, and then funding information. So a great way to keep all your information in one place, for easier reporting later. To verify and update any of this information from this screen, you would just click on the edit button, and that would allow you to do that. I just want to highlight some of those optional fields here before we dive in. So from the back end, you can translate your language to any of 23 languages to make edits to your listing in your preferred language. Really cool addition there. Eligibility requirement is a really dynamic field and can be used to specify a population focus. Let the user know if a referral is needed or a wait list is in place. We commonly see on food bank listings that a piece of ID or a recent bill is necessary at time of pickup. You can use this field to include all necessary information clients should be aware of. And again, the idea is it's way less frustrating for both service providers and clients if clients understand all the steps and what they need to bring beforehand. One of our newest features is the ability for agencies to hide their location, but remain an available resource for their community. This feature is really important for domestic violence shelters, online programs, other location-based services that are helping serve clients during COVID. To really create impact and attention, add a cover image, and you can add up to 10 additional images to support your listing. Once you have verified and added any additional information, by clicking save, you have updated your listing information and your updates are available real time. So it's that simple. In the same way you update your current information, you can add unlimited additional programs and other locations you may have. So those would also include satellite locations. Each can have their own address so they can show up in the vicinity you're in. We recommend you create a new program listing for each program or service you offer. So an example of that would be is if you operate an organization that has both a food component and a clothing exchange, each would be a separate listing. This also allows you to tag each listing appropriately for better service provider and client matches. Well, this concludes me highlighting the features for service providers, but we are going to jump in and take a look at the back end and what you will see when you log in for that first time as a service provider. And we will be looking specifically at how to verify your information and then how to add a program. Jenny is going to jump back on and she's going to help with this demo, and I'm going to walk through and highlight those features as we go. Thank you, Jenny. Give Jenny a minute to set up. I know she has to swap screens before she starts. So we're at our home page right now. So this is www.helpseeker.org. And so at this point, we're going to assume everybody has already received their login information, and that would have been sent to your email. So from the home page, click on the sign in on the top right-hand corner. We'll let Jenny go ahead and do that. When you receive your account information, one or more listings will likely already be assigned to your account. So we can pop in our information. This has come in your email. So we're going to use a demo account for this. If you need help resetting your password, do reach out to our help desk. We're more than happy to assist with that as well. Now we have a menu on the left-hand side, and it has a few options. So we home, dashboard, listings, reports, Tableau charts, account settings. We are going to focus on our options available free to account holders, which are the home, listings, and account settings. So home displays a map with pins of the listings you currently manage. So you can kind of have an overview of all of those listings there. Listings is where you will have access to view, edit, archive, and restore your agency's programs and locations. An archive is where those listings are stored, and from this menu, you can restore them again. So great for those programs that are offered seasonally or reoccurring throughout the year. Simply just edit to update the information and restore your listing. Some examples of listings that would really benefit from this archive area would be Christmas hampers, summer camps, and so on. And then add new will allow us to add additional programs and locations, and we will look closer in a few minutes and actually add a program. So to start, when you initially log in, you will first need to verify the current location and program information available. So let's go ahead and verify your information first. So to verify our current information, we will need to access all listings in the listings drop-down menu. So once we click on that, we can see and select the listings we want to verify and edit. Notice at the top it says language version. Oh, well, sorry, I'm a little bit ahead. Let's choose a listing. Thank you. So notice at the top, this is the language version. So here is where we can select and make changes to the information in our preferred language. So for example, if we wanted to create a listing in French, we would have this information in here. We could then change our information to French, make those corrections, and then it would restore back. So any of those French viewers would be able to see the updated listings in your preferred language. Great. Now we can double check. So we're going to go through this list and we're going to double check our listing name. For our listing name, we don't include incorporated or limited in the listing name itself, but you of course can add this to the suffix of your account. So when you go to claim that, we're going to verify and update any capacity information if available. And we can check all our current information, including our website, to make sure that the links are correct. So as we're going through that, we'll notice a couple fields there that have those red asterisks. Those are mandatory fields. So if we're changing any contact there, we have to make sure that we have filled out those fields in order to allow it to save. So once we've taken a look, verified that information, checked each field, we can go to the bottom, and we'll give Jenny a minute to just review that information. And then once we're done, we can click save. So that's verifying your information. It should be pretty quick. Update those links, just double check the contact information to make sure we have the correct stuff up there, make any changes, and we can change it. Now we're going to take a look at adding a listing. So when we create a new listing, we will click on that all listings drop-down menu and add new. You will have a choice to add a location or a program. Locations are the agencies themselves, the buildings or the main site, and then programs are the programs or services offered by that agency. For this example, we will choose a program. Just a reminder, so those asterisk fields, those mandatory ones, are going to be name, address, description, and at least one tag, and they're marked with that asterisk. The more information fields that are complete, the better, of course, because we want to make sure those clients have the most up-to-date information. And I'll point out the necessary stuff as we go along. So first, name is a mandatory field, and this is the name of your agency or program. Eligibility can be used for services specific population categories, income brackets, and so on. And then, of course, underneath there, we can identify if our program is wheelchair accessible. Occupancy, total spaces, and spaces available is a great field for agencies such as shelters, transitional houses, even childcare. So occupancy is where you can add if you offer beds, suites, rooms, or even caseloads or spaces, if applicable to your program. Total spaces is the amount of total occupancy you have, and a great way to identify space limitations due to COVID. And spaces available is the amount that is available at that time. So this field you can update in real time as often as you need to accurately reflect what you have available. This field does not need to contain a value or number, however, so you can choose to include spaces only if you prefer, or you can update this as needed. Now, right below that, contact information, so such as phone number and email, these are available to the public to see. So we just want to make sure that these are outward facing contacts that a client, could contact you with for information, referral information, and so on. And then that website, so this is great to add. This will link to your website and individuals can use it to access all the information you have available. Full address. Now this is one of those mandatory fields. On the bottom line, so the one right above the map, you will enter your address without a suite, apartment number, or any directional north, east, west, south as you type. And you will notice options begin to auto-populate. If you keep typing, those suggestions will be refined. And if you remove things, of course, you'll get a little bit of a broader selection. Once you find the address you're looking for, you just simply select it. And it'll pop up into the line above where you can add back your suite, apartment number, your direction if it wasn't added already. If you have added your address correctly, you will notice a red pin in the map below. This is also interesting, so you could move this as well. So if this is close to the location and you can't, or it's not identified, you can actually grab that pin and move it as well. So a little bit of options there. Below the map, you will find a hide listing on map toggle. This is that toggle we were speaking of. You would use this if you are an agency who doesn't want to reveal their location to the public for safety reasons, or if your agency, maybe it doesn't have a physical location, or if you choose to not disclose it for any reason. If you choose to use the toggle, the only information you would need to place in that bottom line right above the map is the city and town you're located in. We offer the option to add an image and recommend doing so as it gives a quick recognizable piece of information to those searching for your agency. It also shows that your agency has claimed their listing and that the information provided is up to date by the service provider. So thank you, Jenny. And once we've selected our image and it's going into that little square avatar box, we can click apply. I just want to let you know if you are having kind of issues getting that image up there. Sometimes we're trying to fit a rectangular logo into that square box. It doesn't work as well. You may need to add some white space or some editing. And of course, we can help with that as well if needed. Right underneath that, how would you define your organization? Is an optional field and not viewable by the public, but it is helpful to the decision makers and to you to understand the service mix in the community. So you can go ahead and add this information if it's available and you are comfortable with including it. Again, this information is hidden from the public's view. And you can select all or several of those categories, whatever is applicable. Hours of operation are the hours your agency is open or available, and so important right now with COVID shutdowns, accommodative measures, and unpredictable hours. Great, we can specify that there. And last, the description, we can see that red asterisk there. It's a mandatory field where you can have up to 1,000 characters to describe your listing and what you have to offer. We keep it at that amount so users can quickly just get an overview, a helpful overview, and know what your agency is about and to determine if they're a correct match. And this is also, that description field is also a great place to add any of those COVID updates or changes to your programs if you have them. When you have filled out this first part, you would click Create Listing. It's a quick process and should only take a few minutes. By clicking that Create Listing, it does open some additional fields at the bottom. You will be required to add, so again, another asterisk there, add categories or tags to your listing. So this is how you will be found using our advanced search in our app or website. So clients that look, they're using those terms to search for your service. So tag your agency with the most relevant tags for your agency. For example, if you're a food bank, you could tag with food, free, and then perhaps a population focus if that's valid. So maybe low income seniors, family, for example. I would like to take a minute and just talk about the COVID-19 tag. So there is one there, and many places across Canada are on lockdown, and it's really important for us to know kind of what's available out there. So if your organization is open, they're providing services during COVID, you can go ahead and tag that COVID. It just lets everybody know you're an available service for your region. Perfect. And we'll let Jenny select any tags she needs for her listing there. And we'll notice when she's going through that list that each of those subcategories are ordered in alphabetical order. So you're looking for your category, and then you can take a look and subcategorize it further and scroll through there to find what you're looking for. Great. These same 80 tags that we use in the back end are the same as the 80 tags in the front. So same there. Now below the tags, here is where you have an option to connect those programs to your location. So creating a very organized view of your services. For example, you may have several locations across the city, each operating their own services. We can attach them right from the listing itself. Also, remember you can have multiple locations and multiple programs. So in order to attach the program to location or vice versa, you must manage both the location and the program. So attach the program we just created to a location we own. We can begin, and I seen Jenny already did it, by typing the name, and then it'll display what we have available. So we can click on the correct one and voila, it's attached. And again, you will only be given those locations and listings you're assigned to for your account. So if you do have several locations, we recommend first adding all your locations and then to start populating the programs and then attaching them accordingly to the correct location. Funding sources, so that bottom field there is another field that is not available to the public and optional, but it can be used for a variety of decisions and information. Also a great place to keep all that information in one place. So you can add multiple funding sources, and it includes name of the grant or funding, the amount and the year. And then once you click that, you just add source at the bottom. Perfect. And by clicking that last save button at the very bottom makes our listing public, and it is now accessible for the public to find your much needed resource. So really that quickly. Now let's quickly review the account settings while we're on this menu, if you don't mind. Here you will find your account information. So your email you signed up with, name, number, city your agency is in, and where you can change your password. On the bottom is paid membership plans that you can access as an agency when you sign up for HelpSeeker. you will be given an email about what those plans entail. And as we mentioned earlier, all the features that we discussed today are accessible with your free account, and we invite you to try them all out. And if at a later time you are interested in any of these additional paid reporting and analytic functions, I invite you to reach out to our help desk to learn more. And thank you again very much, Jenny, for demonstrating the back end. And we hope by providing this walkthrough, you can see just how easy it is. And I will turn it back over to Jenny for anything further. And again, thank you for having me here today.
Okay, well, thank you so much, Nicole. That's great. I'm actually going to just turn the floor over to Danny now and see if we had any questions come in that we can address. Danny?
Yeah, wonderful. So we only had one question come in through the chat, but I actually had a couple come through my email before this. And I will just read off the first of the three. And one of them is, how many unique visitors request information from the website daily?
I can take that. So it's kind of interesting. So we track interactions and users across a number of different tools. And this information is rolled up into various reports. One of them is monthly reports, and they're based on regions. So at this time, we do not view daily interactions, but instead for time periods and months. So unique users depend on which region we're looking at and which time period. And since we are currently mapping in the Greater Toronto and surrounding areas, we don't have a clear understanding of all the usage available, but we will very soon. And unique users, so this is in itself a unique term that allows us to measure unique users to our platform within a specific time period. So what we need to also recognize with this information that it is a way of measuring, but we also understand that many frontline workers are using our tools to assist multiple clients. And this number does not capture all of those multi-users. However, of course, it is valuable as long as it isn't the only measure we're using. I hope that kind of helped answer some of those questions. Toronto in particular has a live community page that can be accessed through our website. So that main site that we keep directing you to. And from there, you can also view stats for different cities. And Toronto is up there. So feel free to check out that as well. Thank you, Danny.
Perfect. So this next question actually has to do with Toronto, and they just want to know, what is the most requested services in Toronto?
So currently right now, youth services has been the top search category so far, but the information will become more telling as more people are aware of HelpSeeker in Ontario. And right now we're heavy in Ontario, so we're doing that initial mapping. And as more people get to know it, we'll be able to understand what those trends look like a little bit better. Thank you.
Great. And then maybe Valerie, this might be a good one for you. How and where do we market HelpSeeker?
That's an excellent question for me. Thank you so much, Danny. We take quite a few interesting approaches to our marketing. First of all, when we're talking about marketing our tools within the community, what we try to do is unlock what we call a group of influencers. So those people in the service provider sector and also in the navigator sectors, those people that are actually helping people in need find services, we find those groups that are really interested in becoming a champion for HelpSeeker. So we engage with them, we tell them what really the value of having HelpSeeker as a tool out there in the community is. We equip them with the tools that they need, whether it's marketing materials, whether it's templated emails, whether it's blog posts, whatever tools they need to be able to spread the word on the ground about HelpSeeker and how much value it offers. So that's number one. And of course, there's the more traditional approaches to marketing as well, which include digital marketing campaigns on social media, on Google, email campaigns, and of course, some a little bit old media. I don't like to use that term, but it is true. So old media engagement as well. So press releases, appearances in local news channels and media outlets, and so on and so forth. So it's really a multi-pronged approach when it comes to marketing HelpSeeker on the ground. Now, what I would like to mention, as we have you guys joining us today, if any of you would like to become, like I said, a champion for HelpSeeker, if you want to spread the word about us and our mission and our tools, we would absolutely love to give you the tools that you need to be able to spread that word. So please feel free to reach out either to me, and it's Valerie@helpseeker.org, and that's VALERIE. Or you could reach out to communications@helpseeker.org, and we'll be very happy to chat with you more. But thank you so much for the question. I hope that answers it.
And we actually have one question that actually came through the chat. I believe this has to do with our uploading the photos. And this person wants to know specifically, can they upload a flyer in the PDF for the photos?
A good question. So that when we're talking about those image boxes, they are designed to kind of capture a logo. It is difficult to expand them to have any. So if you have text on this flyer, it would be rather difficult to read. So those icon image, that ability would be for logos and more pictures. Now you can add your website, which will link to all of those things. Of course, you can use that field there. You can also add some links to your description as well. We're always taking this feedback about, adding attachments and so on. So that one's going to go back to our team for sure. At the moment, do take advantage of the description, add some of those live links in there. And then, but those images for the PDF, the image might not be the most appropriate place to put a text-heavy document in there.
Perfect. Thank you, Nicole. Lastly, I want to say if you have a question that you didn't get around to asking, feel free to send them to info@helpseeker.org, and we are more than happy to answer them there. Thank you.
Thanks, Danny. Thanks so much. Just before we sign off here, I've got one last thing to add. So first of all, thank you everyone for joining us today, taking the time. I know you are all very busy, and so we really appreciate that you've taken a few moments to spend it with us, and we really appreciate it. So now that we've shown you how easy it is to claim your free listing with HelpSeeker, we really encourage you to start taking advantage of the benefits. So help us get your services and programs in front of thousands of Canadians looking for help. And by following this webinar, we will send you an email to everyone who registered for this webinar with instructions on how to claim your listing. And then once you've claimed, you will receive exclusive access to our digital download package that Valerie mentioned earlier, some how-tos and more. So again, like Danny said, if you have any questions following this webinar, please feel free to send them along to our help desk. So Danny's our lead there, and her email address is at the bottom here at the screen there. It's info@helpseeker.org. So thank you much again for your time, and we look forward to making your job easier, everyone. Take care. Bye-bye.